Hello once again, dear friends. This is kind of a catch-up video. New releases back from mostly 2023, when I'd kind of like switched comic shops because my older one closed. We're gonna be going through single issues, graphic novels, hardcover, magazines, hardcover, maybe some bonuses at the end for those who are interested. Let's go. Okay, so by now, I guess a lot of people are on board with the Conan from Titan, uh, by Jim Zub and I forget the first name of Delatorre. He does a very good kind of aping, but that's not quite a good term because it sells it a bit short, of John Buscema, which I like. Um, I'd seen that and I was like, wow, cool, it looks like John Buscema. So, and, so what else? Is it just enough to look like John Buscema? But I think it stands pretty good even on its own. Um, I remember reading this and not being like annoyed, but I don't know if I'm like that excited to check out more. But maybe eventually I will. But I think kind of what I'm looking for the most are the old Savage Sword, black and white and stuff, magazines. But anyway, that was the Delatorre cover, cover B. Here's the Artgerm cover, cover C. He was able to order this issue of me that I was missing at the time for my Crossed 100 Mimic set. Again, great series. I love Crossed 100. There's a Raulo Caseres variant cover of American History X, where they kind of take on iconic moments throughout history and just crossify them. Dwellings by Jay Stevens, #1. I have no idea what this is or who this artist is. I know he's got a little bit more shine nowadays because he's doing like the limited variants for some newer series nowadays. But it kind of has like this kind of Harvey style art, maybe I'd call it, or like old fashioned. But it has a creepy like adult horror edge. It seems I've only just flipped through it, so I'm not sure. And I know Oni might be a lot of the time maybe stuff kind of for younger audiences or not quite like ringing with me all the time, but we'll see. It looks kind of good. So I just subscribed to that back then. Here's #2. Here's #2, a variant cover. Not sure who this is by. And #3. I'll be able to inform better after like giving it a read, but the art's cool and it has like these spoofs on like vintage ads and stuff too, and they kind of discolor or they print like discolor on the white so it looks like it's old and shit like that. And these ads look like kind of good. But yeah, moving on. Fire and Ice, #1. Yeah, I need new stuff to read, man. I'm a Marc sometimes. This is the Leonardo Manco cover. He's the interior artist too. And here's #2, Leonardo Manco. Garbage Pail Kids, trashing through time. At first, when I subscribed to these, I was like, what am I doing subscribing to these? But I'm thinking these are gonna surprise me and I'm gonna like them. It seems like they have funny jokes and stuff. Cats the musical. They're in where is it? In Crime Square, New York. Cats the musical playing now. Best garbage in town. I hate Andrew Lloyd Webber music myself, but your mileage may vary. I like this art. No parking, no puking, drooling, no drooling. Yeah. I don't know, something about this. I feel like it's gonna be good. Garbage Pail Kids trashing through time, #2. And #3. Give another little close up here. Larry Hama, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Best of Stormshadow. These IDW thick, like, best of certain character have steered me pretty good in the past. Like, as a person, like, I'm not familiar with the whole G.I. Joe series. Like I haven't read them all, but these are kind of good. Like the Shredder one was good. There's like Megatron, stuff like that, or they'll do like just kind of like any you know um, character. And yeah, I kind of like these. So Garth Ennis is James Bond 007 number 2. I still have yet to like be thrilled by this, but uh, Garth Ennis, prolific dude. Usually I'm a huge fan. King Diamond. Too bad I didn't get the Lemmy comic in time. I tried to order like 4 of them for like me and friends and stuff, but the indie stuff, usually when you're ordering through previews, aka Diamond Distributors, right? Uh, the comic shop orders have to go in before the end of the last Thursday of the month. But it seems that when you're ordering indie new releases, you have to order earlier than that. So I've missed a lot of indie stuff, unfortunately, by just not being organized enough. But got this one on time. This is kind of cool. I'm not very familiar with like Merciful Fate and King Diamond, but I mean, the dude figured out how to make music that would make spiders come out of walls and stuff like that. Isn't there one song where that like is able to summon spiders whenever people play it? Something about the frequencies or something. But yeah, this art was pretty good. It seemed like it was teaching me a little bit about them. But it kind of pissed me off at the end because, I mean, it's like spoilers, right? But at the end, it turns into just one of those things where it's like, maybe it was just a dream. Where it ends with like the artist of the comic and his girlfriend, and then they're like the cats were just imagining all this stuff, and it's like, what? I don't really want. I mean, it could work, but at this point, I didn't want like self-insertion from the artist out of nowhere to end it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, fuck you, dude. But maybe I'll try to read it again and see if it won't piss me off the second time. Because I know I need to either like keep it or sell it to friends, but I never want to sell anything that I don't think is good. Or give it away or sell it to friends. I'd rather just like trade it away or sell it online in that case. So yeah, I don't know. That's King Diamond anyway. As you saw, the art was cool there, though it kind of has that rock and roll biography style stuff. So here's Nick's number 3, the TMNT tribute variant. We've talked about this before, Nick's. Sorry, just a second. Here's number 4, the Rose Besh, I think is her name, cover. Number 5. So, what do you call it? We've showed some of this stuff before, but let's show it again. Just a little bit of Marc Borstel. I honestly haven't, I've only read a couple of these, and they were totally fine. Like I said, they kind of remind me of like a R-rated 80s kind of paranormal action and horror flick, you know? Yeah, I'll just keep looking here a little bit. But yeah, I've got like a complete set of these now, so I'll be able to tell if the writing holds up and stuff too. It's kind of like, yeah, if the writing is like, say it's less than average or only average, it can still be elevated by the art. Maybe bad art can't really elevate like good writing though, sometimes. I don't know, I think it can raise a grade, right? Grade or 2 if it was out of 10. Yeah, some of that Marc Borstel art. I like this stuff a lot. I wonder if he's American with a name like that. It seems like a lot of talent is from, say, South America or overseas, like Europe or Asia. But, yeah. we gotta hold it down here in North America, man. Can't all be a bunch of lazy asses. Moving on. Red Room Crypto Killaz number 1 by the late great Ed Piskor. What else can be said? You know, cartoonist kayfabe meant so much to us. Probably. I remember I was kind of getting back into comics and YouTube, probably like through like your boy Zach, the roast of America. YouTube just suggested that to me at one point, and then went through years of criticizing comics, and then hold on. Yeah. Sorry, my camera was about to crap out there. Um, yeah, I remember Zach was like criticizing stuff, and it was fun making fun of bad comics. But then eventually, you wanted to find good comics, and then around 2019 or 2020, these guys came around, kind of, and yeah, it was like a boom of people being able to like enjoy comics again, and like it was kind of okay that they tried to remain apolitical. I thought like people were mad trying to ask them like how where they stood on blah 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 or blah blah blah, and they'd usually just ignore it or whatever, and that's they just wanted to like talk about comics, kind of like uh man, great channel. How many of us are here because of the energy that it gave to like the whole community or scene, or for lack of community. When I hear the word community, I reach for my gun. But um, like just worldwide, even getting people excited about comics again. So, but yeah, this was also the comic that I would be excited to get and read. Just like read it as soon as I get out of the store and shit, like I'm on a bus or something. But the best, man. I love. I wish that there were more of these. Really. Um, the Ed Piskor 1 in 5 variants also was subscribed to those, so you'll see for every second one. But here's the sketch cover. Here's Crypto Killaz #2, followed by the Piskor variant and so forth. Here, just get them, read them. Well, I mean, a lot of people aren't into this kind of thing, which is fine, but I don't know how you can't be. Weren't you a kid who like wanted to see fucking phases of death and traces of death, and or I mean, maybe not that far, but how about the part where RoboCop, the guy gets like hit by the SUX 3000 or whatever that car is, and explodes all of the windshield, and Bodegar turns the windshield wiper on and shit like that. Like, didn't that didn't you enjoy that? Wasn't that great creativity, collaboration, and like the creative creativity in cinema and art? Can't you enjoy that? Who do you think you are? So, anyways, and so forth. Red Room Crypto Killaz #3, and here's the 1 in 5. #4, the conclusion, which is one of the most brutal, ruthless, like disturbing things you could ever read. The final issue it's so like ruthless. If you're looking for good guys anywhere, you're not gonna find them. You are not. And #4 again. And yeah, moving on. Red Sonja, the #1, the Jenny Friesen variant. Okay, so I'm sorry, just a short disclaimer. I'm trying to record at a higher resolution and higher frame rate than usual, just for better quality, but it's limiting the videos to like 10 minutes at a time, so I'm gonna have to merge these all. There might be like a little blip in the audio every time that, it's like when you have to change the film reel or something. Anyways, back to comics here. Frank Miller presents Ashcan edition, Ronin book 2. So I haven't read these yet. I wanted to just save it and read them all together. I know the initial reaction and reviews were like, "What the hell is Frank Miller doing? This doesn't make sense." The art is like not up to what I expect and want and stuff like that. But isn't that always the case with Frank Miller? Isn't he always just pissing people off and throwing curveballs still? So I'll just try to like think outside the box, or be open-minded when I read these. I'm usually not like a super huge like naive fanboy, but I like to give people a chance when they're not just trying to rehash themselves. When creators are trying to not just try things for the sake of being different, hopefully, but hopefully there's some kind of vision. Anyways, #2, just to complete Ronin book 2. #3, #4, #5. I ordered like multiple. I wanted like both A and B covers, so nuts. Didn't get them. #6. Storm #1. This was Nocenti coming back to write this. I have yet to read it, but I saw this Artgerm variant for like half cover price there at one point, so I checked it out. More swimsuit cheesecake. I'm a mark for it. I'll always get it. I need like a huge like, you know, pin up section in the comic section and stuff, but try to only keep stuff that is good, of like a good quality, and a novel kind of unique creativity too, because a lot of these things, they can kind of end up almost as just like kind of fan art or stuff you'd see like an artist alley or something, where maybe it's like good in skills but it kind of lacks a certain like je ne sais quoi. But for the most part, these are pretty good. Just showing some like random little bits here. Yeah, this kind of android chick looks pretty good. Don't know who she is. This is that Elena, the capoeira chick that I was looking for before in the last video. That's like a wrestling chick. Is her moves kind of like Zangief? Man, it seemed like Street Fighter 3 was the one. Like that's the one I want to play the most that I never got to play. It seems like the rhythm of the characters is so weird, which is kind of. I think that's like an aspect of that franchise, is like the timing and stuff, the rhythms of different characters, especially in that Street Fighter 2 and 3. But yeah, pretty nice stuff in here. Just like totally apt, capable stuff, but it doesn't really thrill me. But it's still like very skillful, and I can still appreciate stuff out of it. Let's see what we can talk about here. I'm sure we can find like some kind of lessons in. I think I had one bookmarked actually to talk about. Yeah, like say this kind of looks like Harley Quinn or something. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is like I used to look at this kind of like cell shading kind of anime look of art and wonder how you do the coloring, where it's like how do you have to know like the three different colors to pick out from your Copic markers or blah blah blah. But I learned actually through some painting lessons that what you do actually is like you use the color of sky for shadow. So you'll see blue. You know, you're combining the blue with say that beige. Maybe there's a paler blue because it's not so stark. There'd be light reflecting from the ground. But a lot of the time you're adding like a pale blue, if that's the color of the sky, and that's how you would even be getting this color here. So yeah, there's just a little something for you. Last Ronin, The Lost Years. This was alright. Yeah, it's like kind of good. Kind of alright. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, I've talked about it before. I just thought Last Ronin should have kind of ended on its own rather than kind of having like a being like, oh, it'll continue. But this is like takes place in the past. Michelangelo, when he was kind of like, you know, or wait, sorry, spoilers. Okay, if you haven't read Last Ronin, you better skip like a minute or two. Yeah, when everybody else was dead and he kind of just went into the mountains of Japan or whatever to like just go die. But then he ends up like in some shit, you know, where people are like beating him to fucking death because they just, I don't know, they're just like scum. They think he's a freak. And you know, he starts to, is he hallucinating, or is he like actually paranormally through either way with the mutagen and himself like talking to the souls of his brothers and Splinter? They just tell him like, you stop feeling sorry for yourself, you gotta fight back, find something to live for. So there is some cool like moving stuff in that series, honestly. Here's the sequel to that, The Last Ronin Lost Day special. I think this is a Christmas special or something. And this is the Kevin Eastman variant cover, I think. Okay, Under Ice by David Lapham. Yeah, I'm just gonna read them all together. Here's Weird Work by Shaky Kane, and this is kind of like one of those instances where maybe variant covers aren't a bad thing, because it's a way of getting me to check things out. If these guys vouch for something and do covers for it, I'm like, all right. I think Pop Comics has talked about Shaky Kane's work, and I've kind of like found out about it that way. But yeah, Jeff Darrow art on the cover here. I'll check it out, man. And here's number 2. Number 3. Oh yeah, my my comic shop, like, again, not ordering indie stuff on time, but he took the liberty of, like, ordering this for me when I didn't order on time, subscribing me to it, and it's good to have that synergy, because that was the right call on his part. And he picked out the variant cover that he thought I'd like to. I think this Juan Jose Rip, this one, who, he's not bad. People are saying he rips off Jeff Darrow. I love Jeff Darrow, but I'll say, like, he was, like, heavily influenced by Mobius back at the start, so I think it's more like just influence, It's not like a trying to rip off. Here's Weird Work number 4. Okay, getting to the trade paperbacks now. Okay, this is Crécy by Warren Ellis and Raulo Caseres. I've talked about this in a previous video, but just an extra copy to sell or to give to friends. About a definitive crossbow versus longbow battle in the 14th century between France and England. That was a definitive battle that apparently, like, was a fork in the road for civilization, Cool shit. Crossed Psychopath. I'm sure I've talked about this in the past too. One of the I'd definitely say it's like top 10 crossed story arcs, and there's like dozens of those. But this one's awesome. Maybe around top 5. It's also like the sickest, most hardcore evil shit. Kind of. Let's read the synopsis a little bit. Okay. For one small band of survivors, the discovery of a starving, injured man in the desert seems like an unexpected blessing. He knows where they could be safe, the location of the last holdout of the scientific community, where the military offers protection and the cure to the crossed plague is being developed. But Harold Lore is not the savior they hope him to be. He's a calculating, lethal man whose mind was dangerously unhinged even before the world went mad. Surrounded by marauding hordes, their nerves shattered by unending fear, the group fall victim to the manipulations and deadly perversions of the psychopath. Yeah, this guy's nuts. Like, rapist, serial killer, necrophile, manipulating survivors in an apocalypse. It's pretty awesome writing, and the art's insane too. Caseres is nuts, man. His art. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people singing his praises, but maybe I would show some of the crazy stuff he does at some point. Anyway, Avatar also solicits for order these collections. This is a collection of all of FreakAngels, books 1 to 6, for about, I think it was like $30, so $5 each. Yeah, just a steampunk series that Warren Ellis did around like 2010. I had read volume 1, and it was all right, just kind of setting up the world. I was like, I want to like check out more of it, so the complete series there. More trade paperbacks for like $5, which is about the only way that I would try reading these. Newer Lady Death and stuff. The original Evil Ernie, Youth Gone Wild, is the shit, man. That's the cat's ass. But yeah, I haven't found too much else that was great beside that, but these are like kind of newer. They're from Boundless Press. It looks better than the Chaos art days. Mainly because the Chaos art coloring was ass. Pure booty cheeks. They just didn't even like have, there was like no, it was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna sound mean. I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, but it sucked, man. Okay, I don't know. For $5 each, I just, when you see this character, you're like, there should be a world of good comics of her. It must be out there, right? Is it? Let me know if there is, because, come on, man. Like, all the Chaos stuff, like, their designs and shit and aesthetic look fucking wicked, but there's gotta be some other good shit out there besides Youth Gone Wild, right? Right? And the old pinup books, of course, too, are the shit, if you ever see those. Yeah, another resolicitation, Alan Moore's Light of Thy Countenance. This is like $2 or $3 for some, like, uncensored, like, no comic code Alan Moore shit. He's doing weird. Some of his stuff is wicked. Mostly it's like Lovecraftian, the stuff he did for Avatar so far that I've read. David Lapham, Murder Me Dead. Great pulp fucking crime shit. This is really like pulpy and noiry because it takes place in, I don't know if it's the 30s or 40s, but he's a jazz musician whose wife ends her own life, and then his ex-girlfriend decides to like come into his life like right after that. Um, and intrigue and mystery follow, of course. And it's just a page turner, man. Like I just checked this out to flip through it, and I just couldn't put it down. Just read it like all the way through. It's a thick boy too. El Capitan, so it's about the same era of Stray Bullets, I believe. Similar kind of feel too. No Hero by Warren Ellis and Juan Jose Rip. Can't remember if I've read this one. Yeah, okay, this is a signed one, cool. Signed by Ellis and Rip. Alright. I talk more about it, but, I forget. If you're interested, you can look it up. I think I haven't read this one yet. I've read Black Summer, but I get Black Summer mixed up with this one. I haven't read this yet. Penthouse Comics, I've talked about this before too. Kind of like European feel of like, almost like, what was it called? Eros Comics or heavy metal kind of stuff that was coming out of Europe. That's the vibe of like all the stories in these so far. It's a nude variant. Always gotta get the nudes. The nudes and lewds. For the dudes with the rude tude. Lastly, Monica by Daniel Close. His latest thing, and yeah, I have yet to read this. I know, sorry, bad comic fan, but yeah, we'll see. There's a thick boy and a hardcover. Oh, actually, lastly, this is it's upside down this side. A tarot deck, The Alchemical Journey Through the Major Arcana of the Tarot by Nina Bunjevac. Seeing like alchemical or hermetic stuff is kind of interesting. Before doing all these like comic videos and stuff, we were like the book club was all esoteric or called shit. Let me know if you're interested in that shit, because I'm gonna do like a bookshelf tour at some point too, and we were all like nerds for that shit before too. Not like into the like conjuring demons or anything, but just like a cult. 2020 was there's a lot of like weird symbolism and stuff out there, and things like, rather than think, oh, there's demonic shit or Illuminati or whatever, like yeah, probably, but they gaslight too. Just go to the source, or think like, say, in, okay, controversial shit here, in say all that like Q shit that was coming out, for instance, them thinking like there's cannibalism and like crazy like orgies and drinking blood. Consider also that that's what they used to say about the Gnostics or Dionysians, early Christians. Why? Or they said that about the Knights Templar, and I mean that's another whole another kettle of fish to like how much of that stuff is real or programming or like, I mean, all the like 1947 stuff, but I can't even say one way or another really. But anyway, yeah, let me know if you want to some stuff like that. I might still, if there's people from the old book club still around watching stuff. Love you guys, man. If we can take over the afterlife. Oh yeah, here's one more thing. Yeah, a little like rap hip hop record haul here that happened. I have like a crazy collection of these too, and records of all kinds. I would like to show. Because there was a DJ, like, usually I never pay. This is only Grail. Only for Grails will I pay stuff like this. I mean, Iron Galaxy and Straight Off the DIC, though, are such sick instrumentals, and some Company Flow also. This is like a double record. And yeah, a lot of the time these old EPs, they just have like they have the instrumentals too, right? Here's Curious, that instrumental kills too. And the EPs also have like greater fidelity and shit. I have like a ton of this stuff, because there was one like legendary local DJ who was selling all his to me for like less than $1 each. And holy shit, some of those records are like worth like hundreds of dollars. Ultramagnetic MCs, Pop Large, another great single and instrumental. Yeah, for anybody out there that's into this stuff too, I know some of you are. Let me know and I'll eventually get to this stuff too, because I think I have about 10 haul videos. Hauls are always going to keep coming though, because I buy comics like a lot still. But I want to showcase like not just new stuff that I haven't read yet, but also like stuff I'll vouch for. Musically, I guess I can do, and bookwise too, as well as I'll be showing all my best like personal collection comic bins also. So yeah, let me know. More to come. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for commenting too. It's always telling me wicked shit. Okay, take care. Hope you find wicked stuff out there. Lots love.